will have to show higher taxes why strikes envious or services right now. We're borrowing $1 billion a month every single month just to pay the interest on the debt formalising government. Now that's right, $1,000 million every month just to play like this. Interest Bill Elton, brand new tertiary hospital could be built every single month if life is interest will not have to be high. Without structural change, within a day, I will be borrowing $3 billion a month just to pay the interest on a loan debt. So let's spend the money we have to do all the things we really need. Let's borrow what we must to invest you dishes. Laying in a stronger Australia for the future applets. Stop borrowing justly. Be watery expenses orgasm. We're reducing the deficit entries will silo reducing the deficit, raise the taxes can reducing the deficit moves more confidence in the economy, and reducing the deficit is fair game, sir, because it ends, intergenerational better against our children and our grandchildren, where we were never in the country axe ripped off future generations die, and under my government we never will, unlike should not I, declared that Australia was under new management and once more open for business. Since then, new projects with either $1 trillion, a BZAID environmental proof Halifax is gone, so every house all on average $550 a year. Payroll my taxes, done socially responsible, saying as a sigh, place to invest your my projects are now getting underway. Run around account now, gridlock. And the new Western Sydney Airport finally built after 50 years of indecision, after 10 years of toll-free trade agreements, covering more than 50% of our exports. China and Japan with South Korea handling finalised. That means better business, better markets for Australia, bombs, and low prices for my shoes. A lot had tried like a close down in a penny everything they program is a once more early again. There are now 15,000 who tried support lines because apprentices finally have the support X. Lumbering often university students at last. The alien is rolling out reliably, absolutely, and despite the archaeology in every seeking or not since the last July, the Senate has passed at least one mighty places government legislation, and because the only drawbacks I just can't coming out of the almighty government, all the songs you have gotten, assault, long loudness, and I did is download will keep themselves. The Arab government has strappy problem, and only you have gotten lucky. Stress my position on having taxes crystal clear since 9/1, as I later it'll be like having taxes under our government. I have the election economy was waking. Election economy was waking, budget was hemorrhaging, another one of those laws, and today, despite all his wheels adversities, economy is stronger, budget is improving, and the job market essay jumps slightly when you thought I was triple the actually 4,000 new jobs everywhere. You have the incredible saga record levels registration. No, you companies is the homeless already economic growth is now Superman servicing. All from 1.9% just a year ago. Actual prices and weary. It's a year plus I have one. It distracts. Remind, wow, insightful. And this is a team we're added to be useful anyhow. Buses already, but I'm not here to defend past. I'm here to explain future people. Ask Australian citizens, including Babel. One great instructor, Mikey, excuses hesitation. That's a fucking... Percentage sign, hesitation. Islamist fanatics. You know, it was in the remote site, it's not good enough, just whose population security agency we trigger, and we're restoring the median strip out my life, and to improve data retention, which we do, we have to tackle the people and the organisations that justify terrorism and act as its recruiting actions, such as has about Julia. We've already biased website terrorism and make it easier so then terrorist organisations. One of my complete is cracking down on his part to react, and others who looked very strange. Isn't it also means global legislation we will bring in it off? I will demand that a life of poverty. All for sure. Listen, the security agencies, all I need access, telecommunications data, the daily grind comes child abuse. To terrorism, as far as I'm concerned, I should always lose the money. And the support nine are okay backcountry and out papers, and we will still, yes, shops. Of the global financial crisis, people reminding she's about economics of I want to make it crystal clear, hello, I am a friend of foreign investment, but I has to come on out, so well government will shortly place our best group ever, holding a former dissident agricultural land and better enforcement all the rules against foreign purchases of existing homes. So I think young people I know priced out of the market, base laws will not be legally enforced by the almighty God, not once, but I rarely enforced other formal language. So this year, the government's budget targets will be on strengthening economy, because we've already done much of the how to work, and we want you to take the core budget at the expense of your household. If you generational rapport will show more is needed to put a budget on incredible power, sustainable surplus. But as New Zealand has demonstrated, a good wind would change this. It's not any unnecessary you standing immigrants. It's not my any unnecessary you standing immigrants. You standing immigrants. We will always be looking over my semi-government, more efficient, and the crackdown on wise government should never spend more, and I must, because if you go government stands, Isabel, you don't spend now or in the future. So why do you need family? Will strictly greater actor lighting the economy stronger so that long-term revenue increases now before Christmas. I said I'm off the bride. I'll be better targeting the proposed hike regulators. Game starting in the back. Families package therapist also. Families package therapist. Also, I admire so I have bombs. So my husband and children, I support bit by bit. Late, so maximize young people like my daughter's choice is to have a carer, a career, and have a family. And I thought loss desirable. Loss desirable is not obliged to, especially when times are tough and badges. So regulation has said a spouse is natural around us. It reminded me the fact it is really does have to be able to shop here. If we want high anticipation and a stronger economy so that they get regulation is office, I thank you, Enlace, are important, but the most important consideration of all is what will best help families at this time. I know many women in many families are working just a pie. Childcare, because that was the average family's experience when I first went back to work after becoming a mullah. Sorrow. 50% afterlife, which also bandages promise. The Bill 260 Sanders, more affordable and more viable childcare, may use less pressure on the family, more parents in the workforce, Messa. Wallpaper, my guy, a bigger economic contribution as well as a cycle contribution to our country might, after all Iraq countries, must underutilized sources here, moderation, and I think our participation in this country was 6% higher at Canada's level, absolutely. Goal setting fire. While $25 billion a year, so we have childcare policy is good economic policy, as well as Saravanan balls, well now is so widely always to improve the system of a multiple plans, the chaos down, and put more money in their pockets, as well as families package. We're also working on a small business and jobs package. I'm happy the tigress. I have to go any place. I have to go any place else if you're a small business owner. It's likely that you mortgage your home in order to invest employee. And so that community, quite literally, you have put your economic life on the line. Gratis, everyday business started. Off as a small business, new industries of tomorrow unlikely to be started by the small business. All to die and the best anodized. Industries you summarise and please almost likely to emerge on an enterprising small business. How about small business growth packaging complementing now? Go on employee share ownership, stamina reductions in red type costs. It will be a small business copy text on July the 1st laces big, and the 1.5% already flags more jobs. Airtight workers will only come, more profitable employers. I'd rather better position to employ people. It really works, is generally so speedy. Get unemployed people on childcare to keep parents in the workforce. Oliver structure to get people to their jobs, and the small business tax cut to create jobs will help. Do you get your budget backwards towards the surplus that copies economic growth is the best? And the base is lying, and the base is lying. Begin pretty practices now I think we'll see I am much more on us national conversation between all of us with Australia's best interests at heart. I want this year's 1. Purposes on reforming the Federation Allen tax. Demonstrated Australians' potential, which I usually wear rather than just always usual. I mean, why should my given level of government more efficient, more effective, and more accountable? This entry, stallions, best interest ensuring very analysis and always use the cheap shots everyone wants. Members powerlifting guy as an interesting downside is more spot services, diaper, why? Instead, passes will also have your body instructed. Devices across the political spectrum on all options by better tax system, limits taxes, rollover simple and fairer, unlike previous, is nice. We want to create the article. I really think around before the crisis probably began, I do assure you that this government wants to be remembered for cutting the overall tax, not offering price for abolishing existing taxes, rather than imposing new ones. In nestled chairs trade, it happened at one challenge unless all the sites and territories, great how and why shines unless there is a political consensus. And lending aside any minor industries challenge bias and the right of the J. Street wind, chimes, this term or makes unless it's supported by the likes of Bill Shorten. And libraries, Bill Shorten. And libraries. By the wife, I think prices will be arrogant and constructive, so I hope this will be consulted submissions, will be published, any hearings will be item, and the sites will have the representatives on the steering committees. Anyone who wants to sigh will have, and the people will have the last word. At the ballot box, no sooner or later, all responsible members of Parliament have to put a long-term national interest, hello there, short-term political interest, and there's no better time to start now. And now, this government, this government has had the courage to tackle the deficit, to protect our borders, and to build a stronger and more prosperous probably. As I said, sometimes, as the last election, we will analyse Starbucks' scrappy, unnecessary new taxes and build the riots of the 21st century results. Why now? I just felt the contact, John, and rides and truly underway 6 and a monsoon with light a strong foundation, but there is more to do, and we determined to get it done, country. Is that important? A Holocaust drives there. I am basically now, after 6 years of life, pious. Ron, you live right, he is cannot come, the new normal, there still strive you, join the way government cloud, and become a second-right country, living off its like. You elected us, you will recall simple strategy, row long term. Let us begin our government. You let us, my decisions made it so that everyone who works hard to get here aspiration is reward, and have a children look for the more opportunities, and you elected us. If you signed with a brain fog, almost ready, why am I just on our national security challenges? Yeah, and it will standing up, or Stradivarius, so they had done. All my life leadership is about making the right decisions for our country's future. It's not a popularity contest, it's about results, it's about determination, and it's about you, Australia, deserve stable government that you collected. Lastly, just 16 months ago, I should prepare my return to the cabin exploration. Are all the people smuggling? Try endo info. We promise that we will do our best to keep you sight. We promise you have reward and opportunity. That's exactly this government's advertisement. Is working, did the little flip. Finesse, Holy shit.